All right. It has been a really, really long day. Where we're at right now is I have completely sanded everything. I have everything sanded down to 100 grit. I had started with 34, and then when I skipped 60 to, it's either 60 or 62, and I went to 80, and then from 80 to 100. People say you shouldn't skip. Then you just have to sand extra harder with the next grit. I didn't really notice a difference. The floor looks nice. So here's our dining room. There was a bunch of damage here, and the majority of it sanded up, about 95% of it. It was really dark over here by the door. We come in the back door, we go into the kitchen, and it all came up really nice. Living room floor, same thing, really, really nice, came up really clean. The heavy pathway is right here, where it was pretty torn up, but man, I'm telling you, we sanded that. And it came out really nice. Here's the hallway. Going down the hallway. At the end of the hallway, for some reason, it was really bad here. It was really, really dark. But, I'm telling you, that sandpaper is amazing stuff. Down the steps. Steps came out great. On the railing right there, that's actually the color that we're going to do on the floor. So, it took a really long time. I went to Home Depot this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I picked up the edge sander and the drum sander. Got home by 7 o'clock-ish, started working, and we had an issue with one of the edge sanders, and it just wasn't working, so we had to take it back and get another one. And once we got the other one, it was great. But it took a really long time. Sanding everything 3 times, it really took a long time. It is, 11 o'clock at night, and I started at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm pretty beat, and right now welcome back. Thank you for tuning back in. So yesterday was a really, really long day. We managed to get everything sanded. We had a little issue with one of the first edge sander that we got from Home Depot, where I had to return it and get another one, so that really slowed us down. But we've sanded everything with 320, and then we sanded everything with 36, and then we skipped 60, we went to 80, and then 100. So the floor is completely done and completely clean. We've cleaned it, we've swept it, we've dusted it. Everything is all set, the hallway, everything, and we are about to start staining. One thing you want to do when you stain is you don't want to stain yourself into a corner. You've got to make sure you have an exit strategy. And you also need to understand that it takes a long time for it to dry, so make sure you make some plans, go see a movie, go to your parents' house and soak in their hot tub, which is what we're going to do for about 5 hours. So, and then you can watch us do a little bit of sanding. One thing that's really important is you need to have some knee pads, because you're going to be crawling around on the floor a lot, and I'm not that old, but my knees are going to kill me. You do need some gloves, not necessarily for safety. They say it's for safety, but it's only stain. But it takes forever to wipe the stain off your hands. So I'm wearing this purely for cosmetic reasons. Blue goes with my eyes too. So I don't want to get stain all over my hand. And we're going to start, we're going to apply the stain with the grain along the length of the board. And I'm going to do about 8 boards at a time. And I'm going to go all the way across. And then I'm going to have my brother, my co-conspirator, he's going to come behind me and he's going to wipe with a clean rag. Because it only takes a couple minutes for the sand to penetrate, for the stain to penetrate into the into the wood, and you don't want pools of stain sitting on top of the wood. That's why you want to go back and you want to wipe it, and that also helps blend in some areas. So let's get to it. Little progress update. We've made quite a bit of progress. It's actually slow going putting this stuff down by hand, but man, I tell you, this really looks rich. It did get a little stinky, so we did have to open up the front door. Let me show you the dining room. There's the dining room. Look at that. Look at that contrast off the wall. Oh, it's fantastic. I can't wait to put the quarter round down and bring the furniture back in. Man, that really looks nice. So, like I said, you do have to make sure you plan your exit. So my brother, right after he finished what he's doing right now, he's going to go down to the end of the hallway and he's going to work this way. And then I'm going to start where my feet are and go this way. And we'll meet at the steps, and then we're going to go down the steps, do the landing, and then down the rest of the steps, and then we'll go out to the basement. And then later tonight, in about 7 hours when everything is dry, I'll show you what it looks like after one complete coat is done. So, as I told you, I'm going to show you the whole floor. Everything is done right now. The first coat, and what I've done is we've applied the entire first coat, and I've gone through and sanded everything with 220 grit sandpaper. I used one of these with a swivel head, and I just put some 220 sandpaper on it. And I just scrub with the grain, with the boards, really lightly across the entire thing. And the reason why I did that was because as it dried, it took about 6 hours for everything to dry. And you know, there are little particles in the air, and there's dog hairs, and there's a whole bunch, you know, we did our best to clean everything, but some stuff still settled on the ground and ended up sitting on top of the stain. And also, the stain is water-based, and whenever you put water on wood, the grain rises a little bit. So just a little sand on top of it, took it down. It's all nice and smooth now. Look at that. Ooh, nice and smooth. So, as you can see, it's not quite as shiny as it was before, but that's for two reasons. One, I sanded it, and two, when it dried, it soaked into the wood. So, the color that we're going to look at when it's finally done is going to be pretty close to what it was when it was nice and wet. At least that's what we're hoping for. It's a kind of a dark brownish red. So right now I'm going to start in this corner over here, and I'm going to start putting down the second coat of stain.